Oh, okay, I'm not sure what I'm really gonna do here because this is gonna take a while, so I'm just going to do this and see how long it takes. I don't know even if I can switch around the camera, but I'm gonna go through my CDs. I got some over here, over there. I'm not gonna let you go to my messy room because that's none of your business. I'm sorry. And I got some more up there, so, well, I'll just get this through, and I don't know when I'm gonna upload this, but it's gonna be out at some point, so. Can I switch? I don't know if I can. Okay, oh, okay, I'm gonna. Alright, to start off, I'm gonna go through these guys. I have 3 rows of, I mean, none of this in general order. I mean, all this has a lot of good stuff in here. This isn't in any specific order or anything. This is just how I put it. So, let's start up here. I've got Janis Joplin's Greatest Hits. I got this a little while ago. Still haven't listened to it, but I know Janis Joplin. I haven't heard much from her, but I know she's one of the best. And then we got Brian Eno, another Green World. I love some of his stuff, especially for, like, I don't know. He has some great atmospheric stuff. And over here, next we got Steve Vai, Passion, what is it? And Warfare. It's a great album. And then I'm just gonna go through the tops of each section before I go through the bit. So next up we got my Nine Inch Nails CDs, which I'm not too big of a fan of, but I have them. So we got the Hesitation Marks, Pretty Hate Machine. What is this one? Year Zero. This is Downward Spiral. Further Down the Spiral. And then we got Fragile and the iconic The Downward Spiral. So, alright, I need to listen to them more just so I can figure out what they're about and more and stuff. And then next we got Tom Petty, Wildflowers, one of his best. Haven't really listened to it that much, and it's been a while, but I'm gonna give it another listen soon. Then we got Bob Dylan, Modern Times. Oh, that stuff fell out, but like, Bob Dylan is one of my favorite artists, easily top 5, I would say, and he's just a great artist. And, I mean, even some of his newer stuff can be questionable at times, but he has some great stuff. All right, let's start back over here. So we got the best of the Doors, because the Doors are one of the best bands of all time, greatest, I should say. And then we got their self-titled, Strange Days, and LA Woman. All great albums. It took me a while to get into them, but they're an absolutely fantastic group. And I wish Jim Morrison were still be alive today, but yeah. All right, next up we got my Beatles stuff. We got Please Please Me, Hard Day's Night, Help, which is one of my favorites, surprisingly. And then the White Album, Revolver, which is their second best album. The first, I think, my favorite and what I think is their best album is Rubber Soul. So, yeah. And then we got Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club, another great album. Got Abbey Road and Let It Be. Let It Be is a good album, but definitely on the lower on there. I don't think it's their worst, but it's not their best, obviously. Then we got the 2 compilations, 1962 to 66 and 1967 to 70. Both of these were great. Next up, we got some John Lennon, and then moving on to some Paul McCartney and Wings. And first off, we got John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. They're self-titled, I believe. I listened to this a while ago. I didn't understand the hype at the time. I'm gonna need to listen to it again to recoup my thoughts. Then we got Imagine. That's a great album, obviously. Now moving on to Paul McCartney and Linda in some cases. We got Ram, great album. And we got Paul McCartney, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. And we got Wings, Venus and Mars. And then Driving Rain and Memory Almost Full. Haven't really listened to many of these at all, but Paul's my second favorite Beatle. Next to George Harrison, who's first, because obvious reasons. And now to move on, we got Pearl Jam, we got 10, their most iconic album. I don't know if it's their best album because I haven't really listened to all of them. Then we got their self-titled, Vitalogy, No Code, Yield, and Binaural. I've been really getting into Pearl Jam, especially 10, because that's a amazing album, and I'm hoping to listen to some of their more stuff soon. I unfortunately missed them being in my city a couple earlier this month, since tickets were expensive and I didn't have the money at the time, so hopefully I get to see them at some point before they retire. All right, next up we got John Mayer. We got a decent chunk of his stuff, and we got Inside Wants Out, which it's a good album, but I don't like him. Hearing him in such a young voice is just kind of weird. And we got Room for Squares, kind of the same thing with that one. It sounds kind of weird. Heavier Things. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I've heard really good things about this. And then we got Continuum, which is what got me into John Mayer, and it is easily one of the best albums ever created. And I found it at a really nice time, and it just helped me through a lot. And then next up we got The Search for Everything. I haven't listened to that newer stuff, but I think he has like a really popular song from that album, so yeah. Then we got Where the Light Is, live in Los Angeles. This is a really amazing live album, and I mean, it has the iconic neon live thing from it, so obviously had to get that when I found it. Next up we got Pixies' Surfer Rosa. I will not show this for obvious reasons, but it's hard to explain because I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a really great album with Where Is My Mind, which is easily probably one of my favorite songs of all time, and has a great cover by Trampled by Turtles on it. Or not on it, but on Trampled by Turtles place. So yeah, never mind. I'll ramble on a lot in this, so I apologize. Next up we got The Smiths, and we got Louder Than Bombs, a great, I believe, singles record, which just has a lot, and like Asleep, and just a lot of Back to the Old House, which is, I would say, my favorite Smith songs, because it just has such a great aesthetic to it. But yeah, and we got Rank, the live album, pretty good. It's a great live album, has some good stuff on it. Yeah, and we got The Sound of the Smiths, which is obviously just the big Smiths thing with a whole ton of other stuff on it, which is really great. Next up we got the Queen Platinum collection, and this is obviously just their greatest hits. I will only listen to the first one, probably some of the second one, but the third one is just a bunch of radio stuff and edits, and it's not that good in my opinion. But Queen, obviously one of the greatest bands of all time, and Freddie Mercury is just incredible, so yeah. Next up we got Weezer. Next up we got Dire Straits. They're self-titled, great album, and then Brothers in Arms and Money for Nothing. This CD is like messed. Oh, it's upside down too. The CD's messed up with it, so I can't listen to this. But at least I have their two other greatest albums. So, in my opinion, so those are pretty great. Next up we got David Bowie. Changes Bowie. This is his first great. Why is everything upside down? Oh my god. And this is like one of his greatest hits thingies. I don't know, it's a great greatest hits CD. I need to get more of his. I got Ziggy Stardust and the Spider Monkeys from Mars. I keep forgetting the title, but that's his best. Well, it's one of his greatest albums. So next up we got the very best of the Grateful Dead, one of the most iconic bands of all time, and one of the best, obviously. So that's the only thing I have them, but I'm hoping to get more. Then we got some more Bob Dylan stuff. We got the Greatest Hits Volume 2. This is like, it's really good, even compared to their first one. But yeah, it's really great. Then we got the 30th anniversary collection. Is this the collection or is this a connection? I don't think it's a connection, because that was concert celebration. That makes more sense. I haven't really listened to that, but looks pretty good. We got Eagles Hotel California, obviously one of the greatest albums of all time from Eagles. I might be going to see him soon, but I doubt it. But it would be really cool to see him, even though most of their original lineup is gone. Next up, we got a couple Fleetwood Mac CDs. First off, we got their self-titled, which is a bit messed up, but this is a amazing album. Especially next to Rumors, which is I mean, these are two albums that just knock it out of the park in almost every single way, and they're just amazing. Then we got the greatest hits. So, I mean, it's the greatest hits. What else can you say about it other than it's the greatest hits? Then we got the very best of Fleetwood Mac, which is Coffee Stain, and I got this from my mom, and it's missing a CD, but so I can't really say much about that. Next up, we got The Police, and we got the Every Breath You Take, the singles, a great little single place CD, and then we got Synchronicity, a great album, their best album, I would say. Just Every Breath You Take is hard to play on guitar. Next up, we got, and then on this section, the last one we got, Cat Stevens' Greatest Hits. It's Cat Stevens. Or Yusuf, I should say, I guess, nowadays, but he's one of the greatest artists we've ever had. Alright, so that's good. We got that. Hopefully that was adequate for a CD collection, or just the first part of it, because we still got more, obviously. So let's keep going. Alright, so I forgot to mention The Doors was one of the most recent things I've got, along with 10 and, what was it? I don't think it was up here. I don't think it was, but okay. I'm kind of going along with this as my TikTok just to make sure, just to like have something, I don't know. Alright, next up we got Gish, Smashing Pumpkins. I mostly like Melancholy, Infinite Sadness, and Cherub Rock, not Cherub Rock, Siamese Dream, which are great albums, but I finally got Gish, finally. I need to listen to it though, so I'll put that in at some point. Then I got 2 copies of the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, their greatest album, I would say. And I just kind of got both on a whim. I just got really lucky with it, so yeah. Then we got Machina, the Mechanist of God, I think it is. I haven't listened to that since it's more of their newer stuff, and their newer stuff obviously isn't that good, in my opinion. Then we got Rotten Apple is the greatest hits. That's obvious. And then we got Siamese Dream, Pisces Iscariot. I think that's how you say it, but this is a pretty cool just B-side kind of thing. It's actually really good, I would say. Probably easy. I would put this like in top 3, I would say, easily. Then we got Ada Adore, which is like, this is like a really small singles kind of thing, which I found, but it was pretty cool, I guess. Alright, since that was up there, I'm going to continue up here, and now we got Coldplay, if I can get these out, which would be nice. Alright, we got Parachutes. Yellow is obviously on us, and easily probably one of their best albums. And then we got what is this? A Head Full of Dreams, another one of their albums. I don't really know much about it. This is the XGY, I think, this is another one. I don't really know much of their newer stuff other than I don't know the album, so. And then we got the Kaleidoscope EP. I don't know. I haven't listened to much of this stuff. And then we got Viva La Vida, obviously probably their most iconic album, which has some great stuff on it, but I don't listen to this that much. So then we got Rush of Blood, To the Head, which is a pretty, I think this is probably the internet's probably say their greatest album, but I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't have a say in it. So, moving on. This is one of the new ones I got, Haim, Days Are Gone. Haven't really listened to it yet, but I've heard really great things about Haim and everything, and hoping to watch Licorice Pizza soon. So, next, we got Heart, one of my favorite bands. Little Queen, this is probably one of my favorite albums that took me a long time to get it, but when I did, I finally got it. And then we got Dreamboat Annie, which haven't really listened to it, but heard great things about it. So, yeah. Next up, we got some Stone Temple Pilots. First up, we got Purple, which I just recently learned. So, I don't know much about Stone Temple Pilots, but heard some pretty good things about it. And we got songs from the Vatican Gift Shop, which I think this has a longer name, or Tiny Music, something like that. And Core. I think this is their iconic album, so I'm gonna listen to these at some point. I don't know when, but hopefully it'll be good. And then I just got this too, Woodstock 94. It's just a bunch of these people from Woodstock. And this, I'm going to listen to this at some point, but I think before I do that, I'm going to buy Green Day's Dookie 30 anniversary one with their Woodstock 30 performance, which will be really cool. Next up, we got Godsmack. They're self-titled, Awake, and The Other Side. I don't know much about this band either. I saw these for, like, pretty cheap, and I was like, I'm just gonna grab them, because, like, I don't know, maybe I'll like them. So I'm gonna have to listen to these at some point. I don't know when, but at some point, I can do a listening thing. I don't know. I could probably start doing that. I don't know. If you want, I could do, like, a album listening thingy. I don't know, and review albums and stuff, which I could. If you want, I don't have to, but if you want, I could do that. Probably not often, though, because I'm really bad at doing that kind of thing. Consistently, I should say. Now we got All Time Low, So Wrong It's Right, just a fun little album. Yeah, has some good songs on it. So, yeah. I'm moving back over here. We got The Killers' Hot Fuzz. Haven't listened to it. I don't think I've even listened to, what is this song? Mr. Brightside fully, ever. I might have, but I don't. I know what the gist of it is. Now we got Rise Against the... Oh, jeez, what is this called? The Sufferer and the Witness. I like some Savior. That's a good song. I think that's what it's called. That's a good song and pretty fun to play guitar. Next up, we got Eric Johnson, a great artist. Got Venus Isle and the iconic Via Musicom with Cliffs of Dover, which is, in my opinion, his best song from what I've listened to, but that's just one of the best guitar compositions I've ever heard, so if that's what you would call a guitar composition, then yes. Next up, we got Van Halen. We got 1984, self-titled, great album, 5150. Oh man, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and Van Halen Live, right here, right now. Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen, love it. I want to listen to Mammoth, so I could know what's coming up for the Metallica concert coming up next year. But that's a next year, so I have plenty of time for that, but I just want to see what Wolfgang sounds like. So next up, we got some B.B. King. We got, with him and Eric Clapton, Riding with the King. That makes a lot more sense than Round, okay. Then we got Live at the Apollo and Greatest Hits. B.B. King, obviously one of the greatest bluesmen of all time. Easily top 3. Easily. Next up, we got some more bluesy stuff. We got Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Live On, I think it is, or because Live On doesn't make any sense, but I think that's his stuff. Trouble Is, Ledbetter Heights, and his really old stuff, or his really like young stuff. Smokin'. He's a pretty great artist. I need to listen to him more though. Next up, we got Eric Clapton. Got Slow Hand, From the Cradle, the best of Eric Clapton, and Unplugged, one of the greatest Unplugged albums, I would easily say. Eric Clapton's great. I really want to go see him this Thursday, but I can't because I'm working. And I really want to go see Jimmy Vaughn because he's opening, and Stevie Ray Vaughan is probably top 3 favorite artist. And he's just, I love Stevie, and I would just love to see Jimmy. So, moving on, we just got 2 Journey albums. We got their greatest hits and the iconic Escape. Great albums. A great band. Next up, we got Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies. I never got a time around to listen to this, and I need to get some more of their albums, but yeah, I gotta listen to them more, especially the Unplugged album. I was thinking about getting that the last time I was at Cheapo Records, but I didn't. So if I see it again, I think I am gonna get it to listen to it because I've heard a lot of great things about Lane Staley. Next up, we got the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, their greatest album, I would say. And then we got Californication, By the Way. I think this has some great songs on it, but I think it just gets so just the samey at the end, especially with Cabron. What is that song? That's not even a song. It angers me. I'm sorry. Then we got Stadium Arcadium and their greatest hits. Next we got Sinead O'Connor, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. It's really sad to see that she passed away not too long ago, but I love her work, and there's nothing much more to say other than she was amazing. Next up we got ABBA, Gold, the greatest hits, Joni Mitchell, Blue, Bon Jovi's New Jersey, and Slippery When Wet, his obviously most iconic, which feels like a greatest hits album, but it is not. Then we got Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood, and Decade of Decadence. I love Motley Crue, but like with everything coming out about them, it just makes me feel really disappointed that I ever really liked them. But yeah, if you just listen to their stuff as it is, it's not too bad. Then we got Traveling Wilburys, Fallon One. I love this group is so good. We got Gautier, Making Mirrors, a great little album. I wish he was able to continue making what he did, but never really could recreate somebody I used to know. Yeah. We got R.E.M. Out of Time, Automatic for the People, and Monster. R.E.M. is a great little group. I don't listen to them much, but they have some great little songs on them. Then we got Radiohead, OK Computer, The Bends, In Rainbows, and Kid A Amnesia, which is just like a couple of their albums and stuff, it's a pretty cool little thing. But I would say In Rainbows is their best album. It's just so crazy and just good. Next up, we got Gordon Lightfoot, Complete Greatest Hits, and Sundown. Granted, Gordon Lightfoot obviously also passed away a little while ago, and he's also one of the greatest songwriters of all time, and he's one of my favorites. And then he's just great. Then Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Concert, and Chronicle. I love this group. They're just great. And then we got Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, and The Spaghetti Incident. I think they're good, but they're not as good as people make them to be, in my opinion. But they have still some great stuff. And we got The Lonely Crosby, Stills, and Nash over here. Great. I love this group. I mean, even though it doesn't have Neil Young in it, but it's still good. Then we got the Death Grips, The Money Store, which I like the first song on it, but I need to listen to it. I might listen to it more just to see if I can enjoy it more, because I've heard like it's one of the greatest albums. So yeah, we got Beastie Boys, Hot Sauce Committee Part 2, and License to Ill. One of the more classic. I'll think I'll call it rap since it kind of is, but it's one of the earliest ones. So I've heard some great things, and it's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So yeah. Then we got Gorilla Demon Days. I heard great things about this, but I don't know when I'm gonna listen to it because I'm not really into this stuff anymore. And then Eminem, The Eminem Show. And then moving down to the next one, we got Metallica Load. This is just one of my copies that I just have. This is kind of broken, so I just kind of put it down here. Even though the rest of my Metallica stuff is somewhere else, so I just put it there. And we got Yellow Card, Paper Walls. Don't know much other than the time they sued Juice WRLD after he died, I think. We got Tracy Chapman, which this shouldn't be here. I keep forgetting to put this where my other one is, which is down here. That's her self-titled, but New Beginning, Tracy Chapman, great. Then we got some more things up here. We got Indigenous, Things We Do. I heard from a neighbor this is a really great band, so I'm going to listen to this at some point. We got Roger Whittaker, Best Love Ballads. Don't know much about him. Celine Dion, Falling Into You. That's Celine Dion, so can't say much else than that. Then we got Kiss, Ace Frehley. It's Kiss. I don't know much about him, but it should be interesting, I think. Then we got some more Celine Dion over here. We got One Heart, Celine Dion. I don't know much, so Best is Easy Top, a really great band. I love some of their stuff. Lagrange, iconic. We got Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop. I kind of forgot I had this, But it sucks. It was sucked to hear that he passed away a little while ago. Now, getting down here, we got Aerosmith. We got 9 Lives, Big Ones, and Greatest Hits. Great band. I'm kind of thinking about going to see them, but it's going to be expendy, and I might just buy some other tickets for that. We got Def Leppard, Adrenaline. Jeff Atkins, Almost Alone, which has a pretty funny song, is I Still Write Your Name in the Snow. This is a great little album. We got Joe Satriani, Crystal Planet. The Jayhawks, Sound of Lives. Jeez, I read that wrong. Then we got The Animals, The Best Of. Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. His album, The Future Embrace. I don't know if I'm ever going to listen to it because I kind of find his noise a little annoying now, especially his newer stuff. But we got Adam Sandler. What the Hell Happened to Me? This is a fun little album, to say the least. And we got Sting, Mercury Falling, a great little album. Got Avril Lavigne. What is this one? Under My Skin. Like some of her stuff. We got Jim Croce Live, his final tour. Jim Croce's just a great artist. Got Billy Idol, Rebel Yell, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. One of the greatest artists of all time, Meatloaf. Never can go wrong with Meatloaf. He's amazing. We got Elvis Presley. It's Elvis 30 number 1 hits. I love Elvis. We got Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory. Great album. Chuck Berry, The Great 28. Great little album. Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks. Great one. Great punk record. Yeah. We got Van Morrison, Down the Road, and Moondance. The Cult, Sonic Temple. Don McLean, American Pie. Great album, one of the classics with American Pie, obviously. Pretenders, The Isle of You. Rolling Stones, Steel Wheels, and Babylon's The Bridges of Babylon. Two of what I've heard their worst albums, but which I'm hoping to get some of their better ones soon. We got The Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. Heard great things. We got the Indigo Rose, I think self-titled, which I've heard also great things about. Got Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits, Snow Patrol, 100 Million Suns. Yeah. Got Bruce Street. And next up, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band Live 1975 to 85. We got Counting Crows, August, and Evening After. Everything After, great. We got Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Sleeps with Angels. Oh, come on. We got Simply Red, the Greatest Hits I don't know much about, and I think I've heard some not so great things about the lead singer. Then we got Faith Hill Faith. We got Bonnie Raitt, Road Tested, and I think Fundamentals. Yep, for a Fundamental. She's a great artist. We got Nickelback. That's all I'm going to say. Then we got Blue Oyster Cult, Worship of the Telescopes. Great. This is a great, greatest hits kind of thing I found. We got Jethro Tull, the original Masters, Avicii. One of my earliest favorite music bands that I've ever loved. Got Jason Mraz. Don't know much, but heard great things. Frank Sinatra, Songs for the Young Lovers, and Songs for Young Lovers, and Swing Easy. Yeah. Got some Taylor Swift, Fearless, Speak Now, and Red. Yeah. Then the Lumineers. Don't know much about them, but heard some stuff. And then here's the other, Tracy Chapman. It's kind of messed up, but I think this is just their self-titled, her first album. Then we got Alanis Morissette from Letterkenny, but Jagged Little Pill, heard great things about it, gonna give it a listen at some point. We got a couple Dave Matthews, him and Tim Riddles live at Luther College, and then Some Devil, Away from the World, and Dave Matthews Band. I think this is self-titled. He has some good stuff on these somewhere. Next up, we got Mumford & Sons, Sigh No More, and Wilder World, I think it is. They have some good stuff. Then we got, what do we got? We got Judy Collins' Wildflowers, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. It has some really amazing stuff on it, to be honest, especially Both Sides Now. So, yeah. I have this on record. I have that on vinyl, too. And we got some Elton John stuff. We got Tumbleweed Connection, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Made in England, Peachtree Road, and then his greatest hits. So that's all for this section, and I'm going to be moving on to the rest very soon. Yay. Alright, we're keep going. So I forgot I was going to do these 2 sets in the last one, but we're going to do them now anyway. So first half, we got Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream. I've loved this album, despite, I know it's really split between a lot of people, but I really love it. Got The Stage, need to listen to it more, but The Stage is a great song in itself. Got Nightmare, which has some of my favorite stuff of them they have, especially Fiction, which I've really fallen in love with really recently. But it's just really great to hear the Rev's voice, obviously. We got their self-titled, I would say the greatest album, easily. And we got City Evil, great album. I mean, it's a good album, has some good stuff on it, but not my favorite of theirs. We got Waking the Fallen, has some great stuff on it, and Sounding the Seventh Trumpet, which I haven't really listened to yet because I'm going to listen to it at some point. So yeah, Hail to the King, which is my last one I need, which is coming soon in the next couple days, which is very nice. So then I'll have everything except for the Diamond in the Rough stuff, but I don't know if they released it on CD. So yeah, we'll keep that. This is almost complete for now. Next up, we got Liz Phair, Exile and a bunch of her stuff. I heard a little while ago some great stuff about this album, and when I listened to it, I was just blown away because this is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. Then we got Juvenilia, White Chocolate Space Egg, all in one word. And then Whip Smart and 2 copies of her self-titled. I hope to see her in November because this is she has some of the greatest songwriting I've ever heard, and it's just plain out amazing. And back here, we have 2 small things back here. Some local artists. We got Humbird, Pharmacon, and Still Life. 2 great albums. I've had the great pleasure of being able to see her live a couple times and being able to talk to her. And she's a really great person. So, yeah. And next up, might as well go up here with George Harrison, All Things Must Pass, 50th anniversary. Easily top 3. Just greatest albums of all time. This is an absolute masterpiece. Even like even the B-sides, which has 1 or 2 questionable songs on it, just has some of my favorite artists just of all time. Easily. This thing is immaculate. It's mwah. Next, we got my Billy Joel set. It's nearly complete besides all his live albums, which I'm gonna start grabbing soon. So first off, we got my most recent catch, The Stranger, live, pretty cool to have. And we got An Innocent Man, The Stranger, his greatest album, Piano Man, Cold Spring Harbor, Songs in the Attic, Streetlight Serenade, 52nd Street, Glass House, The Nylon Curtain, The Bridge, Stormfront River, Dreams, Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2 and 3. Great album. If you're looking close enough and you know, the missing album I have is Turnstiles. Yeah. Next up, we have The Last of Us, my favorite game of all time, but we're not talking about that right now. Then we got Stevie Ray Vaughan. We got his Stevie Ray Vaughan and Friends, solos, sessions, and encores. The Stevie Ray Vaughan Double Trouble Greatest Hits 1 and 2, Greatest Hits album. We got his live album, Blues at Sunrise, and then also live at Carnegie Hall, and the amazing performances at Montreux, 1982 and 85. We got Live Alive, I don't know. Martin Scorsese presents The Blues, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Skies Crying, Family Style with Jimmy Vaughn, got Texas Flood, Couldn't Stand the River, Weather, Trouble in Step, and Soul to Soul. Easily one of my favorites, if not my favorite artist of all time. Second favorite next to George Harrison. Next, we got some more local stuff. I need to rearrange a little bit here, but okay, start off up here. We got the Minnesota Beetle Project, which is a great little album from our bunch of Minnesotan artists. Then we got Stump Jumper. We got some Charlie Parr stuff. Stump Jumper, great album. Last of the Better Days Ahead, signed by Charlie Parr himself. A really great album with some great stuff on it. Backslider, his live album, amazing live album with some great stuff on it. Then we got Dog. I've seen him 4 times, I think, and he's a great performer. Then we got Billy Strings, who isn't Minnesotan. We got his EP and Me and Dad, if I can move this around correctly. Some great stuff on there. And we got Low, great Destroyer. I've seen Alan Sparhawk live a couple times with the Trampled by Turtles. He's a great, and even after the loss of Mimi Parker, which sucks, but it's one of the greatest Minnesotan bands we've had. And Hey What, their most recent release. Next up, we got Trampled by Turtles. All their concurrent released CDs. Alpengo, Palomino, Life is Good on the Open Road, Wild Animals, Stars and Satellites, and Live at the First Avenue. Great stuff. Alpenglow is surprisingly one of their best albums. I would say top 4, probably. And Life is Good on the Open Road, obviously the worst. Next over here, we got some blues or jazz stuff. We got Charlie Parker Bird Savoy, Original Master Poets. This is an amazing album. I love it so much. It's just got John Coltrane Sidesteps, a sampler CD. I don't know what much to say than just jazz is just probably one of the most perfect genres of music there is. And we got a bunch of more Charlie Parker stuff. What's New, Groove and High, Parker's Mood, Bluebird, Confirmation, Birds in Paradise, and I saw the rest of them, and this is a great set of stuff. And I saw the rest of them at I don't remember what it was, but I wish I grabbed the rest of them because that as a set is worth quite a lot. Then we got the Essence of Miles Davis. Lastly, over here in this little section, we got one of my third favorite band of all time, Joy Division. We got Closer, Still, which are both these have the original CDs and a live album in them, which are great. And we got the Best of Joy Division. I don't have Unknown Pleasures yet. It's coming soon. I'm going to be so happy because I have both the Closer and Unknown Pleasures on record, and they're just amazing, and I can't wait to have Unknown Pleasures on CD. So that's for this section. We got 2 sections left, finally. Jeez. Right over here, we got just a thing, which is nice, but also kind of annoying. So up here, we're going to start off. We got my whole Bob Dylan stuff that is growing relatively fast. So we got Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. Times they are changing, bringing it all back home. Highway 61 revisited, Blonde on Blonde, John Wesley Hardin, New Morning, Blood on the Tracks, Hard Rain, Desire, Infidels, Empire Burlesque, Under the Red Sky, MTV Unplugged, Time Out of Mind, Love and Theft, Greatest Hits. I love Bob Dylan, obviously, and I'm only about halfway there to getting most of his normal stuff. Normal, quote unquote. We got next, but I love most of, especially his older stuff is amazing. I mean, so he's got some great stuff recently too. So yeah. Next up, we got Led Zeppelin. We got Led Zeppelin 2, 4, the greatest album, in my opinion, even though it's, yeah. And we got Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti. Great little collection right here. We got Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits and his Woodstock performance, which I haven't listened to yet, but I'm really excited to listen to that. Next, we got Simon and Garfunkel, Sound of Silence, Bookends, Bridge Over Troubled Water, and Troubled Water. Jeez, I don't know what I did there. We got the greatest hits. I love Simon and Garfunkel. They are amazing. And I have the their last concert, I believe, on cassette and record, which is great. Then we got George Harrison, Cloud 9. This is just over here purely for not really any reason, I guess, actually. But this is a great album. I love it a lot. Next we got Paramore, Riot, and their most recent album, This Is Why. 2 great albums. This was a really nice comeback from what it was before. Except we got Foo Fighters, their self-titled, The Color and the Shape, which I finally just got accidentally 2 of. And I've been waiting to get this for a long time, and I finally did, and I'm really happy with it. Then we got One by One, In Your Honor, and their newest album. But here we are. Great. This is a great album. They did a lot. They did really well, especially, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say much because I don't know too much, but it's a great album. It sucks that Taylor Hawkins died. Really sucks. Next up, we got Nirvana, Nevermind, and Utero, their self-titled, which is kind of the greatest hits, kind of, I guess. MTV Unplugged. And from the Muddy Banks of Wishkah live album. This is some great stuff. I would say on level with Foo Fighters. I think they have definitely some greater albums easily, so I'd say above Foo Fighters, but haven't really listened to In Utero, but this is one of one of the greatest MTV Unplugs ever. Next up, we got Tenacious D, self-titled, and The Pick of Destiny. What else is there to say? It's an amazing band. We got Green Day, Dookie, Insomniac, Nimrod, Warning, American Idiot, 21st Century Breakdown, Uno, and Revolution Radio, and International Super Hits. I basically love everything up to here. I was really disappointed by this, haven't listened to this, and this has some good stuff on it, but yeah, I mean, American Idiot, they did perfectly for this album, and then tried it again with 21st Century Breakdown, and just flopped with it, in my opinion. So yeah, this is one of my favorite bands. This is what got me into collecting music, to be honest, so yeah. And then lastly, on this little place right here, we got AC/DC, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, and For Those About to Rock, so We Salute You. These 2 are great, amazing albums, some of the best rock albums of all time, and haven't really listened to this one. All right, there's 2.5 seconds left. Are you ready? Can you make it? I don't think I can because I'm tired, but here we go. All right, this is one of our last sections up here, so I'm going to start over here with the Pantera, the complete studio albums, which I conveniently taped up here on the wall. Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven, The Great Southern Trendkill. Oh, Reinventing the Steel, yes. All great. All of them great, or good to really great. The Floods is my most favorite song, even though it's kind of generic, but I love Pantera, and they're all great. And then we got Dimebag Fidelis, the group after Pantera, Damage Plan, Newfound Power. I haven't listened to much because I just got it, but I'm going to listen to the rest of it soon. Next up, we got my Metallica and Iron Maiden down here. We got Kill 'Em All, their first album, Ride the Lightning, which is their greatest and best album and my favorite. And then we got Master of Puppets and Justice for All. This is the Black album, but it's missing the back part of it. We got Load, Reload. Don't know much because I haven't listened to much, but Fuel is a fun song. We got Saint Anger. Don't want to talk about it. Death Magnetic. Haven't listened to it, so don't want to talk about it. It's Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I've heard some of the biggest songs on this I can't stand. It's just swearing the way they did in this album was just really annoying. I don't think it fits well into a chorus, I would say. We got 72 Seasons, which is a really surprising record. I actually really enjoyed this when it came out. I listened to it like 4 or 5 times on the first day. Great. Garage Inc., they're not their 598 EP, but this, I want to get that. I have it on cassette. So, yeah. And then S&M, the one with the band, big band, not their band, but that's pretty decent. And we got on the bottom here, we got Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast. The greatest Iron Maiden album and one of the greatest rock or metal albums, I should say, of all time. Over here we have Tool, Lateralus, Undertow, and 10,000 Days. This is an amazing record. Can't say much more about it. And up here we got Soundgarden, Super Unknown, down on the upside. Need to listen to this more, but Chris Cornell is one of the best of all time. We got Stone Sour, Corey Taylor, great. We got Slipknot, All Hope Is Gone, and The End So Far. I was kind of surprised by this. Haven't listened to it in a while, but I remember it was good. and I saw him live a couple weeks ago, and he was really great in it. So yeah, we got Slayer, Rain in Blood, and Seasons of the Abyss. Rain in Blood is an amazing album, one of the best thrash, and I haven't listened to Seasons of the Abyss yet. We got another thrash band, Creator Hate Uber Alles. You listen to that still? We got Lords J-Tree, don't know much about that. I kind of saw it, looked cool, haven't listened to it. Miss May I, Monument Deluxe Edition, need to listen to it again. Or haven't listened to it, but I'll need to give it a listen. And we got some Korn. We got Take a Look in the Mirror, Issues, Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader, and Korn, and they're self-titled, I should say. I'm not the biggest fan of Korn. They have some fun stuff, but I will listen to Korn and follow their self-titled and Follow the Leader most of the time. But, I mean, I'll listen to their bigger stuff. But, yeah. I got Black Label Society, Catacombs of the Black Vatican, I think. I need to listen to that still. We got Stay and Break the Cycle. I might be seeing them soon, but I'm not sure. We got Creed, Human Clay, and Papa Roach and Fest. Great level stuff. Over here we got Megadeth. We got Rest in Peace. Peace Sells, but who's buying? So Far, So Good, So What? Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia, Cryptic Writings, and Risk. I'm so close. It's annoying me because I'm missing Rest in Peace, but the remastered version, and it sucks, and I need to get it soon. So I don't know when I'm gonna get it, but I mean it looks alright, but something's off. I'm hoping to get it soon, but then I'll have that completed. But Megadeth, a great band. Up here we got the Shrine. We got Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe. Fun album. Rob Zombie is pretty great at making music compared to making Halloween movies, which aren't bad, but they're not my cup of tea. We got Linkin Park, one of the greatest bands of all time. Hybrid Theory, Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, and 1,000 Suns, and Reanimation. Amazing stuff. We got Evanescence, Fallen, and The Open Door. Good band. We got Rage Against the Machine, one of the greatest and most iconic bands of all time. Got As I Lay Dying, Decus. Don't know much about it. Suicide Silence, The Cleansing Ultimate Edition. It's a really fun record. I don't remember the original main singer, but he's really amazing at what he did. And we got Megadeth, Euthanasia again. I bought this a long time ago compared to this. Then we got United Abominations. Got some Odyssey Osbourne stuff. Blizzard of Oz, No More Tears, and Black Sabbath, Paranoid. One of the greatest metal albums of all time. And last over here, we got Motorhead, Ace of Spades. Lemmy Kilmister is one of the best bassists of all time and has one of the best bands of all time. Metal bands especially. Limp Bizkit, Significant Other, fun album to say the least. Disturbed for The Sickness, which is not as good as I remembered. Alright, moving up here. We got Piper at the Gates of Dawn, good album. Have a weird CD of it with stereo and mono, which is interesting. Metal, my favorite Pink Floyd album. It's just amazing. Then we got Dark Side of the Moon, the most iconic, obviously. Wish You Were Here, my second favorite. Really amazing. Then The Wall. I need to listen to it again because I wasn't the biggest fan of it the first time, and it's been a while, so I'll give that another listen. Got Animals. I heard it's a great album. And then over here on the end, we got the Division Bell, A Momentary Lapse in Reason, which I was very disappointed by. A Momentary Lapse in Reason was just meh. Then we got the Final Cut and Echoes, the greatest hits. So that's everything for up here. Time to move on to the final half. All right, the last thing is this case right here. It's all my favorites, some of my favorite stuff, and just what I want to listen to on CDs like immediately. So first up here we got Meshuggah Nothing, one of their best albums, and Obscene. I think it's their best album. These two are nearly tied. Then we got Distant Heritage. This is a great album. I found this like right when it came out, and I was super happy because I loved listening to it. We got Cattle Decapitation, Terracite. This is just so much fun to listen to, and I'm probably going to go see him in December, which I might do a review on. Then we got Lorna Shore, we got Immortal, and Pain and Mains. CJ McCreery is amazing on this album, despite of what he's done, and has some really great stuff off with Immortal Disfigurement. So yeah, and then we got Pain and Mains, obviously. Will Ramos, amazing on this album, and on their EP before this. Hoping to get that on CD soon. Next up, we got Gojira, probably my favorite metal band of all time, which I saw really recently, a couple weeks ago, and they were fantastic with Lorna Shore, actually. So we got their whole album discography, except for some of their live album stuff. And then we got Terra Incognita, I don't know how to pronounce that, but and we got The Link from Mars to Sirius, The Way of All Flesh, Le Enfant Sauvage, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Magma and Fortitude. This is a great record. Even they're still releasing great records, even 20 plus years after they've started. And down here we got Avatar, Feathers and Flesh, a great album, and Dance Devil Dance, another great album. Up here we got Slipknot, the rest of my Slipknot, they're self-titled and Iowa, their 2 best albums, and they're basically tied, I would say, in greatness. Next up we got the System of a Down albums. They're self-titled, Toxicity, Steal This Album, Mesmerize and Hypnotize. They have some amazing stuff in here. It kind of drops off with Steal This Album and Hypnotize, but the rest are perfect. Down here we got Cannibal Corpse, Kill and The Bleeding. This is just kind of a fun thing I'll listen to every once in a while, and I'm going to see them next month with Mayhem, Gorguts, and something else I don't remember, but they're a fun little band. Tala, which is one of the greatest things I've ever discovered, to be honest, and Justin Barnes is one of the best metal people of all I've ever heard. I missed them coming up earlier this year, but I'm hoping to see them again as soon as I can, because this stuff is just really great. And right here at the end, we got the Misfits, Static Age Collection, and the Collection 2. I love the Misfits. They're one of the greatest metal bands of all time. And they just have a whole ton of great stuff. And last of all, Slaughter to Prevail, Castellum. Great album. Kind of the samey stuff, but it's great. So that's all my CDs. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I hope you enjoyed